Check height.
What's up, it's your occasionally simulation flyer, driver and joyrider, Rusaku Gaming, and welcome to Los Angeles X-Plane 11 VR. We're here in, like I said, in Los Angeles, and the frame rate is a bit laggy right now, but that's because I have so many things going on here right now to make this city look authentic. It looks pretty nice, but it's not looking that authentic because some of the buildings are not exactly super correct, but it is looking Los Angeles enough so we can be happy. Today's agenda is to fly through Los Angeles, flying low with the helicopter like I like to do. And I will tell you a story about the Swedish most brutal serial killer in Sweden. And as you can see, this is the downtown Los Angeles. We can't see the huge round tower, cylinder shaped tower, but we can see there is the other building, and here the other building, yeah, the crazy shaped. And we're start, because I like to fly low, we're starting by approaching the freeway right there, and we're trying to fly right above it. Look at that, there's Los Angeles River, it's probably flooding right now.
Check height.
Check height. Whoa, this feels pretty freaking scary, I have to admit. Is that Los Angeles River? I have no idea. Okay.
100.
Let's try to descend here a bit. Whoa, this would be so illegal. Flying low as hell. The chopper is making crazy
100.
sounds here. We're trying to keep this up.
100.
We're flying actually pretty fast, and we're using Bell 429 or something.
100.
It's looking authentic from inside. Just like I promised, I have to tell you a story about the Swedish serial killer. Because I'm reading a book about that. I just got that finished, and I have to admit that was one of the craziest
100.
stories. I need to adjust. So, in 1951 and 52, there was Tore Hedin called guy who was a cop in Sweden, and he was like sheriff's deputy or something in a very small village in Sweden, 1950s. And at one night in winter, he was going to the local blacksmith's house. No, that was not blacksmith. That was like a man who made a bakery guy. So he went to this house. All the town was in the town meeting in the middle of town. Look at that. That must be a Hollywood tower.
Altitude.
One of those Hollywood area high rises. So it was a winter night. He was going there, and the bakery guy was his friend. Holy shit! And the bakery guy let this guy in, the police officer or deputy, into the house, and then a few hours later people were starting to see that there's a flames going on, and the bakery guy's house were on fire. Few hours after the police officer or deputy were going there. So the firefighters came there and tried to shut down the fire.
Check height.
And it was huge fire, and they finally got that under control, and they noticed that the doors were locked from outside. And the police officer was of course in the scene because he was the town deputy. So he was on the
Check
scene
height.
helping the firefighters to do the job, put down the fire, and starts doing the investigation of what happened there. So they found the body that was brutally fucked up from the head, and he was lying on the bed, and he was all burned out. Then in the next day they look at that, the Hollywood sign is shining bright there. Very good looking stuff.
Check height.
There's Burbank
100.
and Warner Bros. Studios, you guys. If you don't know, there is a Burbank and Warner Bros. Outside studios right over there. They're the biggest outside studios, sound stages in America, if I'm correct. Very exciting place right over there. So we're once more trying to fly low here and getting over to the freeway and getting back to the Venice Beach. That would be my next goal. So let's continue the story. Sorry, I'm bouncing around here with my stories, but yeah, that's me. I'm so hyped about these scenes here. So the fire finally got cooled down,
Check height.
and there was everything under control. But the police
100.
starts to investigate. The body was taken to the local morgue, and the doctor were finding something very strange. He noticed that this guy's using his work suit, and he was sleeping. So that was very odd. And the face were fucked up. So he probably got killed before the incident the fire actually happens. And then there was a huge smell of gasoline, petrol. So there were many
Many 100.
things that are telling that this was not a natural death. And the firefighters couldn't find anything that
100.
would naturally build up the fire in the house. So they decided, and they noticed that yes, it was flamed, ignited
100.
by someone, and
100.
the guy was killed, the
100.
bakery guy, before the fire. They also noticed that his money were
100.
stolen, and a watch, Seiko watch from his hand. So they start to find out who was the murderer. And of course the Swedish police, Ture Hedin, were the main guy, because he lived in the city and he was the town sheriff there. He was one of the leading investigators there. And they never find out who that was. And if you guys know who that was, right now, I don't know if I tell that in an early stage or not, but yeah. So Ture Hedin was the guy. The police officer was the murderer, and his motive was just to steal the money. And by stealing the money, he was killing his friend, a bakery guy, by hitting his face with an axe. And then he dragged the body to his bed and filled up the house with gasoline and burned that shit down. But no one dares to suspect the police officer there. He was such a nice guy, very funny guy, and a charming guy. Look at the Los Angeles, it's beautiful. Let's go through here, through the canyons, and try to approach the Venice Beach. Oh, shut up, you airplane. So, what happens next? 6 months after the bakery house burned, the Ture Heading finds his dream girl. That was Ulla Österblom or Österström or something very Swedish. So they starting to dating, and that was
Check
a
height.
time of Ture Heading's life.
100.
The local sheriff deputy were having his time.
Check height.
Check height. I bet this is illegal
100.
flying to fly these so low, and I bet there is no
100.
these kind of buildings right here in the hills. But yeah, what you can do is explain. So they were having a summer trip there, and they were having so much fun. They were driving with a road trip
100.
around the Sweden, and they were having so much fun with his new girlfriend. But then suddenly everything changes, because the Ulla, the girl, finds out that Ture, his boyfriend, was stolen something from the local hotel they were in.
Check height.
And Ulla was mad. He doesn't tolerate that kind of behavior. So Ture got very mad. He got this black fire in his head, and he starts to yell to the Ulla, and Ulla got really scared. Look at these buildings and everything. Mountains. Absolutely beautiful. So Ulla decided that he was gonna break up with the Ture because she started to scare him. And there was one other incident in the near future after the road trip tour, and Ulla made her decided to break up with Ture. But the Ture, he doesn't like the idea. And what he did in a coming months, he get involved in a situation that he has to force and manipulate Ulla not to leave the guy, not to leave Ture. So he beats up the girl, and in the second day he goes and kills his own parents by using the same method, using axe to their face, and then burn down the house. Right after that,
Check height.
he goes back to
Check
his
height.
girlfriend's or Ulla's house. Let's go through here. Oh my dear. Oh fuck. And he kills Ulla, and he kills his boss because he was in the elder's house, sleep over
Check
there,
height.
and the boss was there too, and burns out the whole house filled with elder people, and got serious mass murder killing spree right there. And he absolutely killed himself later that night by drowning himself into the near lake. Look at that. This is Venice area here in Los Angeles. Very good looking stuff. Very good looking stuff. And there's the pier I'm not sure if that's probably not the pier where should be the huge wheel of fortune or something.
Altitude.
Okay, let's go and get down here to the beach.
Altitude.
I'm trying to descend on there on the pier, if that's even possible here. I don't know, because this is not
Altitude.
an original object of the game. It might bug a bit, but let's try it anyway. Right over there. So that was scary
height.
story of Swedish mass murderer.
100.
And yeah, very interesting story, very interesting book about
100.
Through heading. So if you are interesting, please go down and take a Google search for through heading. There's a Wikipedia article in English you can find out if you're interested. So yeah, let's go and descend here. We can see our own shadow. And yep, we are going through. Oh, it's ugly, a bit ugly. So let's descend right here next to the pier here into the parking lot. And yeah, that's it for this video. If we are managing to get through here nicely, yes, nicely right here. Okay, huge dust, I have to admit. Terrible dust. Okay, frame rate heavily lagged, but I'm not throwing up yet, so it was enjoyable and very surprisingly realistic journey. Okay, let's shut down everything, and yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining me, and if you got all the way through here, I'm very excited, and you should probably consider to subscribe here as well. So yeah, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for next. I love to do a helicopter episode and explain, so I will definitely do them more in the future. So see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye bye.